So the two main types of policy forms for medical malpractice insurance is occurrence and claims made. Occurrence, per their names, is how they respond. So the occurrence form responds when the medical act occurred, and the claims made form responds when the claim is made. There are several differences between occurrence and claims made. To best illustrate that, I'll give you an example. And for this example, we'll use a premium of $10,000 for easy calculation and limits of $1 million, $3 million. On an occurrence form, you would have, using a $10,000 premium, you would start out year one if you were to have a new policy effective January 1st, 2020. Your premium would be $10,000. You'd have limits of $1 million, $3 million. And then when you renewed on January 1st, 2021, those limits that you had in 2020 are set in stone. You get issued a new set of limits in 2021, and so on and so forth. Every year you renew after that you have an occurrence policy. So when you're looking back on, let's say, a 10-year career, you would have 10 sets of $1 million, $3 million limits in this case. They don't bunch them together to give you 10 million, 30 million. It's 1 million, 3 million for each policy period or policy year, but you have 10 sets of 1 million, 3 million limits. And it's 10,000 every single year, as long as you don't have any changes in exposure, you don't have any claims, you don't have any new procedures, the insurance company didn't change the rates whether they go up or down. Barring those factors, it would be 10,000 year after year. In contrast to claims made policy, it would be, rather than being 10,000 that first year, it would be a fraction of that mature premium. And maturity is a term that we use in claims made. You'd start off at a fraction of that, 40%, 60%, 80%, and then finally 100%. And those are the years. Companies vary in their claims made maturity from 4 years to 5 years. So we're going to use a 4-year example here with a $10,000 premium, the 1 million, 3 million limits. First year on a claims made policy, 1/1/2020, you're going to pay $4,000. You're going to get a set of 1 million, 3 million limits. When you renew in 2021, those limits that you had in 2020 are going to go away, and you're going to get issued a new set of limits for 1 million, a new set of 1 million, 3 million limits for 2021. Those new limits will now cover you for the current year and the previous year. And then each year after that, again, your limits are going to go away when you renew, and you're going to get issued a new set of limits. So at the end of a 10-year career, like we did in the occurrence example, you're going to only have one set of 1 million, 3 million limits to cover you the entire 10 years. And as far as the progression of premium, year one was going to be 4,000. Year two would be 6,000, year three would be 8,000, year four would be 10,000, and then it would be 10,000 year after year after year after that, again, barring any changes in exposure. This would probably be a good opportunity to tell you, or to define what those two numbers mean. You always have the two numbers, 1 million, 3 million, 200, 600. The first number is how much money the insurance company will pay in any one given claim. The second number is how much the insurance company will pay in any one given policy period. So I've often been asked which form, occurrence or claims made, is better. And that really just comes down to preference. I've spoken with several attorneys who could argue both ways, that would say, hey, an occurrence coverage gives you far more coverage, gives you far more limits. But some attorneys would argue that puts a bigger target on your back, where others would say you want as much insurance as you can afford. So occurrence is a little more expensive because it gives you far more limits, and the exposure for the insurance company is much greater than that of a claims made policy. So also with an occurrence policy, you don't have to worry about tail coverage if and when you cancel the policy, because it responds when the medical act occurred. So if you had an occurrence policy from January 1, 2020 to January 1, 2025, you cancel, and a claim comes up in 2027 for something you did in 2023, the occurrence policy you had in 2023 will respond to that claim. Again, in contrast, on a claims made policy, If you were to cancel in 2025, you don't have coverage once you cancel unless you purchase what we call tail coverage. It's a generic term. The term is extended reporting period coverage, but you probably know it more commonly as tail coverage. If you don't obtain tail coverage or purchase tail coverage, then it would be as if coverage never existed on a claims-made policy.